Hey, it's Aaron, Metal Theologian. Alright, so today we're going to talk about some French metal. I'd like to say I've done a whole bunch of research on this shit, and like I'm all ready to go and prepared. But that's not really what happened. What really happened is I pulled a bunch of shit out, and it kind of sat there for a while, and I was like, I should just finally make this fucking video already, so that's what we're going to do. So there's probably more like over in the section that I just like forgot about when I was pulling these. But we have about this many. We'll see how many we get through. And this is specifically French metal that isn't on Devil's Records. So I've done that feature. I did one a long time ago, and I did an updated one like maybe a year or two ago, something like that. And a lot of my favorite shit is on Devil's Records too. So like, I'd almost go there before going here because that's just like the seal of quality, you know. But yeah. So anyway, we have a soda that we're gonna try today too. But before we do that, we're going to actually one of the very few French bands that sang in English. This is Axton Prite, I guess. That's funny. It looks kind of blue and just sort of, you know, whatever. When you look a little closer, and it's kind of spooky too, you know. I'm not sure what the decision was as far as how the layout was done here, but you know, whatever. Great looking band. Look a lot more glam than they are, though. I mean, these guys, I wouldn't quite call this prog metal, but it really has some, there's a lot of prog intent, you know what I mean? This is, they're going for that sort of grandiosity at least, you know? Which is what I dig, actually. This is side 2. This is side 1 before I started. I'm liking this more than I remembered liking it, so. I feel like it happens more and more. Like, I think I'm mellowing with age or something, like. I remember a record sucking, and then I listened to it, and I go, oh, this isn't so bad, you know? Or I remember a record being mediocre, and I put it on, I go, this is great, what was I thinking? Anyway, I have never before had a Faygo kiwi strawberry. I used to have a Detroit-style pizza place that, not too far from us, and they get these Faygos in because, of course, we're all juggalos, and also, I guess, they're a thing in Detroit. I guess juggalos are kind of a Detroit thing, too, but anyway. We're going to try this bad boy out because I'm trying to think of a kiwi strawberry I've had. I had a lot of kiwi strawberry Snapple back in the day, like back when they fucking advertised on Rush Limbaugh's show and shit like that. That's the sort of thing you got to keep in mind when you're talking about the good old days, right? It wasn't all good. Anyway, Snapple was pretty good. And we're going to try the Faygo kiwi strawberry. I figured there's a little jump at the thing when I like my mouth is full of kiwi strawberry soda, so I can't like talk and cover it. Oh well, it happens. It's a piece of shit I gotta pick off on there, I'm sure. This is really nice, actually. It's pretty sweet, all right. It's not like monstrously sweet though, like a fucking, you know, like the that like. Butterbeer, I don't know what it's called. It's some sort of like cream soda that's like butterscotch. There's some sort of Harry Potter tie-in somewhere. That's like the sweetest thing ever, and I love it, but it's really fucking sweet. This isn't quite at that level, but it's sweetie, but it's sweet, but it's really fruity too. And I'm trying to pinpoint whether it tastes more kiwi or more strawberry. And I'm not sure it really tastes all that much like either, but it tastes fruity and it tastes sweet. And I'm pretty into this, actually. This is the genuine Faygo. It's funny, this restaurant is the only place I ever see Faygo in cans. Usually when it turns up here, it's in bottles, but they also get some weird flavors too, so. Anyway, this is a pretty good soda. I don't think there's any caffeine in this shit. But I gotta check, of course. Oh, I can't make that shit out, man. No, I don't think so. I don't see it listed in the ingredients anyway. Maybe it's naturally occurring in, no, I'm sure it's not. Alright, so anyway, Axton Prite. French band, not one of the easiest ones to find these days. alas. I don't know if this has been reissued or not either, but yeah, anyway, really cool band. Sort of a distinctive cover. Even if it's kind of a little bit of a what the fuck kind of cover, you know? Like, all the focus is on the X, you know? Part of why I like playing some of these, though, is because this shit really smokes, you know what I mean? It's like you get an idea sometimes from, especially when you're talking about like a French band or something like that. It's easy to get certain sort of cliches in your head, you know what I mean? Like, it's... I'm trying to think of a good example. I mean, it's easy to think that all German bands are going to sound like Accept, you know, but they really don't. It's a weird analogy to draw because I think more people know the German scene than know the French scene. And, you know, honestly, probably the best known band out of France is these guys, actually. Blaspheme. Were pretty great when they were on, right? But they would have some sort of, they have these weird sort of poppy moments, too, where it's like, they can kind of go, what the hell? Sort of like, on that Hollowed album out of Italy, there's that one song on there where it's just like, what the fuck is this, you know? There's like their pop song, but like, a lot of bands, like especially later in the 80s in the US, like would have their you know, designated hit single, which would be a power ballad, right? It's like these guys went like, it wasn't even like power ballad, it was just like some pure like weird pop shit, like with some hippie shit. And Blaspheme kind of did that, which is funny because, I mean, they're called Blaspheme, you know? I mean, they're sticking themselves in the Last Supper. One thing that fascinates me about this album cover, actually, is that this record came out in 1983. And, like, in the late 80s, I think, maybe early 90s, somewhere in there, they did this big, like, restoration project on the Last Supper pictures. So the Last Supper actually doesn't look like that anymore. Like, they cleaned all, like, the dirt off from, like, the centuries since it was originally painted, and, I mean, I don't know much about art restoration, you know. I know if you fuck it up, it can be funny. You've probably seen the picture of that woman who fucked up that one painting of Jesus somewhere in South America, kind of famously. If you don't know what I'm talking about, ask in the comments and I'll find a link to it because it's fucking worth it. It's hilarious. But anyway, art restoration is actually like a real thing, and the picture's a lot brighter now and the colors really sort of pop. But on here, it looks kind of faded and washed out, and it's because that's what it looked like when they took this picture and made that record. So it's an interesting sort of passage of time thing, you know? I appreciate that sort of thing, being interested in history. I'm trying to put these guys on for a minute, but I'm not going to. Instead, I'm going to fire up this guy, Venin. I don't know if I just probably Venin or something like that. My French isn't all that great, but apparently venin, in English at least, is the active ingredient in the venom. So, I looked that shit up in the dictionary. I was like, is that even a fucking word? Apparently, yeah, there's probably some scientist watching this shit, who knows. Anyway, this one's a reissue. Originals of this one. It's funny, they don't seem to be that hard to find, but like when you do find them, people want a lot of money for them. And honestly, it's a cool record. I don't know, I feel like spending like 600 euros on this fucking thing. I don't think it's worth that. And it seems like copies sit around at those prices, so, you know. It's one of those sections where the supply and the demand don't ever quite meet up, you know. Another one that seems to happen is that Palace record, that Queen of the World one. You know, is it's legitimately a rare record, and, you know, it's worth a few bucks, but it's not worth as many bucks as people seem to ask, so. It seems like there are always a couple out there that are available, but no one's really jumping on them either. Oh, shit. Someone plays a 45. Anyway, it's a pretty enticing cover, you know. It's kind of a weird art style, you know. It's really sort of soft for a metal record. It's kind of cool you can see the texture of the canvas, now that I'm on the art thing here, right? It's really not the most metal looking thing ever, you know? Like, it almost reminds you of, like, you know, the script you might see on the back of a Bruce Springsteen record or something. But this is clearly a metal record, you know? So, like, don't be too fooled by the... I mean, I wouldn't say this looks like total wimp shit or anything like that, but it's heavier than this looks, you know? It's unusual to hear a major key like this, too, you know? It's actually really fun to hear something. I haven't listened to some of these in a long time, so... Obviously, these guys are singing in French. And actually, this reissue is on a label called Chameleon. Yeah, I don't actually see the thing. I just did the serial number there. If I'm not mistaken, it's that. It's spelled like C-A-M-E-L-E-O-N, like the French way of spelling it. There's an H in English. So, they've done a few things. Actually, another one they did that I also snapped up right away is another one of those that's kind of rare. This one seems to turn up less often, though. But this is Oro, I think is how you pronounce that in English, I'm not sure. Probably some extinct, like, cattle. But yeah, there's the catalog number, so there you go. They kind of get themselves in my radar with that shit. Yeah, I don't remember this one that well either, so I'm going to fire that one up too. Let me organize my shit so I don't lose my inners, as I am wont to do. Okay, before I move on with that one, let's talk about this one actually. This is actually a great example of one that I remember as being not that great, but I listened to it earlier tonight and I really enjoyed it. This is Anthracite, I guess. Plus précieux que l'or. More precious than gold, I think that is. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not the French guy here. Anyway. Dieu de la Guerre. That's a good song title, though. Alright, this record is it's an obscure band. I think they put this out on like some super rare record, but I'm not even positive. This one might have just been a demo. This is a No Remorse release that I kind of jumped on because it was one of those where I heard that it was, you know, some sort of like impossibly rare French thing that I wasn't going to want to pay whatever the asking price was. And I wanted to hear it, you know. And it's not the greatest thing ever, but, you know, I've talked a lot about the sort of solid 7 out of 10 records. And this one really does that, man. This is a good record. I don't know if I'd say it's a great record, but it's a record where, like, if I came over and, or if you were hanging out in here and I put this record on, we listened to it, you'd be like, yeah, man, that's a pretty cool record, man. That scratched the itch. Anthracite. Yeah, here's another one. What a great band. What a great... When it comes to band photos, that's really up there. This is one that really kind of slipped through my personal cracks. Even though this one's probably one of the better known ones in these sack here. This and Blaspheme are probably about the same as far as level of... I don't know if popularity is the right word, maybe awareness more. But this one's on Ebony, which is such an English label that... It was sort of tied to England to me that I don't tend to think of French bands when I think of Ebony Records, but they got a release on Ebony. Kind of a corny cover, but you know, the kind of cover that makes me want to take my wallet out, I'll be honest. And I kind of snoozed on this for a long time, but it's a really pretty good record, man. It's hard, it's heavier than it looks, the songs are good. They get the English titles and the French ones underneath. That's funny. It says, give us the necessary power to revenge us from all those who detest the demon. That just barely makes sense. And it's signed, Demonized. You gotta love it. And you know something? That's a pretty fair description of this record, I think. No, because like I said, it just barely makes sense. Honestly, I feel like I'm implying now that this record just barely makes sense, like, as a record. It totally makes sense as a record, and it's really good. It's solid. It just has that sort of, like, Frenchiness about it a little bit. Probably less than a lot of these bands. Probably less than Venin right now. But, yeah, it's a cool record. Probably one of the easier ones to find in this stack, because it was on Ebony. I don't know if it's been reissued, but, if it hasn't been, maybe it will be. Okay, so we're going to put on Auroch for a minute now. So you can check that bad boy out. Because like I said, I don't remember what it sounds like. It's like what I'm afraid is going to happen during 5 random records. I have no idea. You know, I'm putting myself on the spot. It's like a little mini version of that. That's a fun game though, so. Might make another one over the weekend, in fact. Yeah, I mean that cover, how can you resist that, you know? Yeah, the colors are a little bit corny. Maybe you want a little more black and a little less pink. But it's telling you what it wants you to know, you know? So let's see. So their EP also plays at 45. I'm going to remember this time when I first start it, so I don't have to fuck around. Solid riff, man. I don't expect to hear that slap bass in a metal record either, so you know there's just that little twang at the beginning there. This is great. Like, I know there are people out there who have a problem with it when the records aren't sung in English. Mostly native English speakers, but not entirely, actually. I bet people who don't even speak English that well who still expect it to be in English. But I don't know, man. I don't need to understand what he's saying, man, because I'm buying what he's selling. So it kind of makes me wonder what the big deal is, you know? Fucking who cares, you know? Yeah, these guys might have snuck into the Devil's records video, but this is sort of a favorite that I like to show off when I can. This is the Dum Dum Bullet record. I think they might have made a single in addition to this. You know, if you really want to know, you can look it up on Wikipedia or Discogs or whatever. Don't worry about that too much. It's on the Sydney label. And I don't know what the relationship was between Sydney and Devils, but it seemed like Sydney was kind of where the Devils bands went to die. Like, they put their first record out on Devils, and then they put out a couple more on Sydney, and the Sydney ones are generally even harder to find than the Devils ones. I only have a couple records on Sydney, and in fact, you know something? Yeah, I think I just identified one of the ones I left on the shelf. We'll see, I grabbed it if we have time. There's probably going to be part 2 of this. Yeah, these guys are just like rough and straightforward and really kind of Motorhead-ish. Kind of, you know, a biker feel. Like this guy. I feel like I always say this when I talk about this record, but this guy, that's really what the record sounds like. You know? Like, it looks a little bit old for that. But he looks like he's, you know, he's enough of a pro to know what he's doing, but not so much of a pro that, like, he's playing an arena as opposed to a club. It's just a really fun record, man. It has some great titles, too, like Dum Dum Bullet, their signature song, is fucking just killer. And there's a song called Smell of the Night. Another one called We Are the Virgins. So, yeah. It's like there's some sleaze and intent on this record, but it doesn't sound like that. It's really just all punched straight ahead. And actually, the only reason I'm not going to put that on right now is because there's another one here. That's one of my very favorite French ones that I just have to hype when I'm talking about French metal. And that's this guy, Marage. So then you get the idea about Oro, and it's a really good idea. I don't know how available these reissues still are. They were pretty, they weren't that hard to get when I was getting these, but I think I did have to get them from overseas. The shipping was a lot cheaper then, so I don't know. You know, if you want to hunt these things down, I always wish you the best. And, if I know of like a way of sort of sneaking a deal out somewhere, I'll tell you. But I'm kind of glad I bought a lot of these a long time ago. All right, so we're gonna check this one out, man. This one's just all balls. You know, super punk influenced. I mean, very Motorheady. But it's funny, you know, I tend to like bands. I like Motorhead just fine, don't get me wrong, but like, I tend to love bands that sound like they're influenced by Motorhead, you know? And it's funny because I'm kind of the same way with Led Zeppelin. Like, Led Zeppelin's fine. I'm not like a big fanatic. I mean, other records, fuck. All right, we can't just leave that little fuck up in there. We're gonna do this right. These are my boys. You got to do right by Marage. So, there we go. Like, I don't really care that much about Led Zeppelin, but there are a lot of bands that are really obviously influenced by Led Zeppelin, notably Diamond Head, who I really, really love, you know? What's this here? The bass solo. Lugaru. Great fucking song. Look at the back of this. There's another version that has a green cover and like the lettering is in white. Looks a lot shittier than the black one, frankly. But I think they're about equally difficult to find. In fact, it seems like someone found a box of each of these at one point, and like we're just trying to sell like one of each to everybody who they reached out to. So maybe I was one of those people who got reached out to. Yeah, this is fucking Lugaru Nuit is the second song, then Hymne à la Mort. Song to Death, if I understand it correctly. Yeah, I love this fucking record. How are you doing for time? We're doing fine. So another one that's sort of similar as far as being a belter is this EP on Rave On Records, actually, out of the Netherlands, by the mighty Ashbomb. Yeah, Coup de Metal. These guys made an LP too, which was also on Rave On, and it had some of the funniest like band photos on the back because like the cover looked like it was bombed out, and like on the back they all were like laid out like they were dead, like they were like this with like blood on the mouth or something like that, like they just got like, I don't know, fucking masonry falling on them or something like that. And those are the band photos. I think it's absolute fucking genius. That record though, I'm starting to warm up to it a little bit. But this one, just right out of the gate, man. That's another one where the first song actually is the signature song. I don't know if that's works for French bands, but yeah. The song Ashbomb is great. Total banger, this one. If you're digging this one, you're going to dig this one too, and you're going to dig Dum Dum Bullet too. Not that they all sound exactly the same, because they don't, but it's a similar sort of vibe, you know what I mean? Sort of straight ahead aggression. Alright, I've been saying all these nice things, so let me bust one out that's a little bit sort of on the lame side. It's funny, at one point this was considered like one of the French mega rarities. And then, I'm not sure if a whole bunch of them turned up, or if a bunch of people decided this record actually kind of sucks. I think it was actually both. But this is the one and only record by, as far as I know, by the band Shelder. What does that mean? I don't know. Cover's kind of promising. I mean, the colors are kind of dark and shit, so it's a little hard to see what's going on there, but, you know, it has that heroic thing going on in that. There they are on the back. Singer's a woman on this one, Corinne. Good for her, though. She looks tough, you know. It's, you know, one of many records that has a song dedicated to Randy Rhoads. There's an instrumental called Randy Rhoads. So, if you think it was only American bands who were, like, obsessed with Randy Rhoads and Cliff Burton, no, that shit crossed the Atlantic. This record really isn't that bad. It's okay. Fuck, I'll put it on for a minute. What the hell? We can pass judgment on it together. Because I haven't played this one in a long time either. I might like it more now. I probably haven't listened to this record in like 10 years. That's why the intent was to listen to all these again before making this video. But like I said, I never would have gotten off my fucking ass and done it, so. Alright, here we go. First song is called God of Vikings. So, if anything is going to be good, it's going to be God of Vikings, right? Let's find out. Yeah, as I recall, this record isn't bad. It's just like, it doesn't really grab you. You know what I mean? It's just kind of there. The songs don't quite deliver at the level you want them to. It's hard to pinpoint sometimes when they're not necessarily doing anything wrong, and you're trying to figure out exactly what it is that is making a record not click. And it's hard to say. Not the heaviest opening, in fairness. Yeah, it's funny. I feel kind of stumped by this one. Like, I don't know what to say about it. I feel like I should be, like, narrating here or something. Let's bump this ahead and see what happens. I'm going to skip over the fucking Randy Rhoads instrumental, although I don't want to hear that. I think I just dropped in the middle of it anyway. Yeah, there we go. The sound's kind of muted. You know, it sounds a little bit sort of washed out. Not a bad riff, though. Oh, this is Randy Rhoads. There we go. Yeah, like I said, I've listened to this in a long time. I thought that was just... Actually, it's funny because it says it's instrumental. That's what I thought it was, but... Yeah, it feels a little bit all over the place. It's funny, though, because, like, listening to this now, there's sort of an eccentricity to this record that I can see myself learning to dig. I don't know. I'm just guessing the jury's still out on this record. I feel like I'm kind of reassessing this as we go. But not necessarily ranking it any higher than where I did coming in, just like sort of like feeling a little bit differently about why I'm ranking it where I'm ranking it. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna fucking call it there. And we're going to come back to Shelder next time when I do a part 2 of this. And so that we're not leaving it on just sort of a weird note like that with sort of a question mark. You know, I don't want to end these videos with a question mark. I want to end it with an exclamation mark. Or an exclamation point, as they say on the Electric Company. For everyone who watched that show. So we're going to put Dum Dum Bullet on for a second here. You can see why I love this fucking band so much. Yeah, we've got enough here for a pretty respectable part 2. Maybe even part 3, so depends how fast we go through them. So we'll spend a little bit more time with the French records over the next month or so, you know. Solid riff, kind of a little bit of a swing to it. Kind of got like the Paul Diano gravel in there, but like turned up even higher. The chorus will stay in your head for the rest of the day, which is why we're gonna wait for it. So this song's in English too. I think this whole album is. There you go. Dum Dum Bullet. You'll never forget. That's the rhyme we're going to end it on, folks. Thanks for watching. We'll talk some more about French metal soon. Take care.